Hey up, welcome back to Man Cave Workshop, and thank you so much for joining me again. Okay, moving on with this RP25. It's been sat on the bench doing nothing for about a week. Other stuff going on. Last time I disassembled it all. The case is on one side, but I hadn't put this aerial. Now this is from overseas. It's a replacement aerial. It fits a 10-section aerial, and the bottom comes with this part. Let's see, let's get you in here, let's see what's going on. So it comes with this part that's obviously made to go on something else, but we're going to put that on, and we can either loop this through here and tie it there, or what I think we'll do is get a nut and bolt and fix it on at the bottom there. Now then, there's a problem, because with the original aerial missing, there's like a plastic clamp that goes around here and attaches to this arm on the chassis here. Now I ain't got one. So I've been scratching my head until I get down to a DIY. I'm going to have a look in their DIY stores when I visit them to see if there's anything. I think this is 8 or 10 mil wide. It might be 10. I'll measure it and see if there's anything in the plumbing area or something like that will do. Be able to fix it there. For the time being, I think as a safeguard, and it is a bit of a budget, I might put a tie wrap through and a piece of electrical tape around here just to hold it secure there so it don't go anywhere. And then I'll probably forget about it and leave it like that. Unless when I keep opening the radio, it drives me nuts. I think, no, I've got to change it. So that's where we're up. So I'm going to get on with that and see how we go on. And then we'll move on. Okay, we've got some electrical tape around it. We've got a tie wrap here. Let's see how we get on with that. In the meantime, I don't know if I've done this on camera last video, but these, I caught this end piece of this ferrite rod. Forgot what they were called then, with a soldering iron. I noticed they were just tape, so I've just redone all the way along all the tape on there just to tidy that up. Okay, let's see if this works or not. It has to be temporary. I'm sure it's going to drive me up the wall knowing this is done like this. So we'll pop this through. Let's see if we can. It already looks big. I've got a smaller one, but I don't think that I'll have enough friction to hold it. Let's try this. We can always cut it off if it doesn't work. Let's pop it through and see if we can get this tight enough to hold it. That's pretty secure. I'll do as a temporary fix. Probably drive it up the wall. Might not fit in after, but there we go. It's yeah, it's fairly straight through the top. It's very straight. That holds it quite well, so we'll go with that. I'm going to see if I can find a small nut and bolt now to fit through here, here, and here. In fact, no, let's, if we are going to do something like this, let's do it half decently. Let's take that off and have the square block on the other side out of sight. Do you know, if it was black, it wouldn't look too bad. But let's get that. Let's do one with the block on the other side, so it's kind of hidden behind there. Okay. Did hold it quite firmly. That's all it's got to do. It's going to drive me mad. It can drive me mad looking a little bit better than it was. There we go. And that's... Is it tight? I don't know. It might be just the grommet holding it. What I'll do, I'll get some pliers on it so we can get it a bit tighter. Okay. Okay, managed to find a screw, a nut and a washer that seem to fit. These bits, they've been sent to me by a guy called John. Well, thanks, John. You've saved the day on this. All these little parts that you build up over a while, they do come in handy. So let's get this on and secure that aerial on. There we go. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, not the best, but it'll do for now. Let's get that close in so you can see exactly what it looks like. In fact, let's loosen that off a tiny bit and have it more like that angle. That's better, isn't it? Dropping stuff in the background there. Okay, moving swiftly along. Okay, as you can see at the moment, what I'm doing is try to clean up the rust on this hinge. It's been in a bath of white distilled vinegar and bicarbonate of soda, but it really hasn't brought the tough stuff off. So I'm just going to clean it up best we can with this. So you get what I'm doing. I'll just carry on doing this. So the hinge has had several passes with the mini tool, and didn't realise how bad it was, to be fair. I got to the point where I thought it's time to stop. I don't know if it looks better or worse. It's took the chrome off almost completely on this side. I'm not sure when it's back on the radio. We'll know for sure then. It must look better than being full of all that battery corrosion. So it's the first hinge I've done this. So that's as far as I've got with that, and that's as far as I'm going with it. Onwards and upwards to the next stage. Okay, then the next stage for this radio is going to be this handle. Now, I know when I started off, I said I was going to sort of rob bits off the other radios, but I decided against it. I decided that to keep them all as they are, not mix them up, and work with what each, as if I'm working on them as if I only had the one. I didn't have two other spare ones. Because I think that's what a lot of people be faced with. So it'd be a bit unfair to think, oh yeah, you got three, it doesn't matter. I thought it would be an easier way out because the other two handles are far, far better condition than this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to soak it in really hot water and get this rexine off, hopefully intact, and then glue it back on. Like, I can't see any other way of doing it. So I'm going to get on with that. I'll show you the result on my attempt to get this rexine off. It's actually getting a bit late in the day, so I'm going to pause the video now. Perhaps have a go at this tomorrow, getting the rexine off. Okay, it's a few days later. I hope you enjoyed the video of the Man Cave Workshop complete rebuild. It was -1 out there. And that's why the camera looks a bit wobbly, because it was absolutely freezing. Okay, as you can see, we've got the rexine off. Now, this is really, really brittle. And it's totally folded over. It must have been in sunlight or something. But we're going to try and save it. And what it has left is all this residue of the glue on here. Now, I've soaked this in soapy water and all sorts, and it does not want to come off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean it up best we can, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to attempt to iron it, just with with a spare clothes iron for ironing clothes. And I'm going to clean up as best I can all this residue that's left on here. Have a go at sticking it back on if it comes out okay. So I'm going to nip off now and run this through. I think what I'll do is put greaseproof paper on the front and back, get plenty of steam on this first, and see if we can't iron it flat. If it all goes west, I think what I'll do is clean this up and key this handle without any rexine on it. It won't look right, it won't look original, but it will look a lot better than having this stuff dangling on it. Okay, I'm just doing a bit of handheld here so you can see what I'm doing. As you see, this part of the into daylight, this has come out quite well. I haven't done this end yet. And what I'm doing, I can do it all one-handedly, is to put the rexine into this greaseproof paper. A bit tricky one-handed, but I'll persevere. So it's in there, and then literally just iron it. Bit of steam, and it doesn't take much. It goes really, oh, you can't see, can you? It does go really soft again. I suppose when it cools down, it might go brittle, but it does flatten it out quite well. Okay. So continuing with the handheld, I put some. Heat is your best friend in this job. I've put some PVA glue on the handle, and I'm really heating it up, just with a hairdryer, just to heat it up. The hotter you get it, and you keep working it with your fingers until you get the glue spread all over, and hopefully get it all into place. See that bit lifting there? I'll go over that bit. And just keep going over it until it sticks down. It certainly looks a lot better than it did before. I'll just carry on and see if we can get that nice and super smooth. So okay, there we go. Needs cleaning up because of the excess glue. But if you look at that now, it's lifted there, it's not tucked there, the glue. I'll have to redo that bit. I'll have to get some glue down there, heat that up again. I mustn't have put enough down that edge anywhere else. No, it all looks okay. So if you have got one of these where, don't worry about that, I'm going to clean all this excess glue off after. If you have got one of these where the rexine on the handle is in a mess, which this one certainly was, it had curled up, they can be saved. What I'll do for now, I'll just see it hasn't tucked there, so I'm just going to get some glue down that edge, heat it up again, and let it cure again, let that stick down, and then we'll clean the whole lot up. Okay, so there we go, all back on. What I like to do, because they're black, is I just use some shoe scuff polish. So I'll show you. I've started doing it and thought, oh, I'll show you what I do with this. There it is. You just put it on like you'd polish your shoe. And obviously this is only for black radios. And what like that? When I say black, these hackers, I think they have a hint of blue in them. And this, once it's wiped off, doesn't tend to take that away. It doesn't make it completely black. So I'll just you get what I'm doing. I'll just do this and wipe it off. And hopefully that's saved the rexine on the handle. So I'll just pop that on there, just like polishing your shoes really. And with the cloth, just wipe it off. You get the idea. Okay, I think it's about time we got this radio back together. Okay. So before we put it back together, I'll show you what I've done. I have there was 2 pins missing off here, so I actually managed to get a piece of like a cocktail stick and glue it on, and it seems to be holding okay. Another good way of doing these when these come loose is to heat up with a soldering iron a piece of copper like wire, the thick stuff, and melt them in. But this one wasn't too bad, so it's all nice and stuck down now. The underside here, I think we'll clean them up after. We can put some new, you can use, for these battery things, you can use them floor scratch foam circles that you can get to put on the underside of chairs. So that's the least of our worries. I didn't reform it. I cleaned up absolutely everything on it. What I did do is, you can still see a little bit of sag there, and it does show up quite a lot in the camera, you can see it. But what I did do is just stretch the rexine in a little bit and then glue it, again with PVA, and just cleaned up the whole case. So I'm going to put this this radio back together, and then we'll put it to bed, have a look at it. Okay, so we're all back together. Let's have a good look at it. You can see the reflection of the light above it. It's certainly looking, well, I think, a lot better than when it arrived. Let's do the, we've got a lead here. This is keeping the camera charged up on the phone. Let's get that out of the way. Let's do the famous Cody's spin test. Now, Paul Cody's said to me once, a radio should spin round at least 5 times if the turntable's right. So here we go. I think this one certainly passes. I don't know if it applies for hackers or just Roberts, but I think that certainly passes that test. What we'll do now, we'll get some power to it and give it a test. Okay, let's give this radio a test. What I've done, I've put 2 batteries in it, PP9s. Again, these were donated from Simon's World. Thank you very much, Simon. He's took a normal PP9 battery, and he's got these covers on them that make them look like the old authentic ones. I think they look really cool. On the hinge, these 2 screws aren't original. I got screws as close as I could to match. I had to countersink the hinge a little bit to accommodate them, so when the door shuts, they don't foul these other screws here. I haven't put the felt foam stoppers on yet, but I'll do that later. Let's close it up and give it a spin. Now I've just been testing this radio, and it worked perfectly. I brought it back to the bench and it gets interference. So obviously what I did, I've got a couple of lights around it. I turned one off, no difference. Turned the other off, no difference. And then I unplugged the phone out. When I say the phone, this is the camera I'm using to film it. I unplugged the charger for the phone, and the interference went differently. It still interferes with the radio, because if I take the radio away from the bench, there's no interference at all. So this radio does not like being next to a modern day smartphone. Okay, anyway, let's switch it on. Let's put it on long wave. I'll demonstrate what I mean.
You're some bizarre ghost of my past that I have to chuck away.
You can be very hurtful at times,
so we've got radio 4 tuned in there. Now listen when let me pull this out a little bit. Then you see, I'm going to, let's get this in shot and you can see. I'm going to plug the phone in.
Your phone.
What?
I don't answer it.
Funnily enough, there's a
Hello,
phone.
Mother.
There's a phone going off on the radio. But listen to
Yes, Mum, it's me. Who else would it be?
You never told me these days. I want to see you.
So obviously it doesn't like the phone. It also picks up other things off it as well that you might be able to hear. Because as soon as I take it away from the phone, it's fine. Okay, medium wave.
They definitely passed 2018 to some other players that were on the younger side in 2018, and especially now you have the likes of Guardiola, Sosa, Juranovic, who weren't born then and don't know the struggles that the country went through and the happiness that 98 brought the whole country and just the players. And so it's definitely been passed down, and it's definitely one of the reasons why we're doing so well. And
let's try it on FM. Give it a little bit of aerial. They do sound amazing, these radios. Better not stay on music too long, eh? Oh, it's all music, isn't it?
Greg's gift card. From £5 right up to £50. With the High Roller gift card for the big fans. Give the gift of flaky pastry paradise this Christmas. They'll thank you for it. Pick up yours at your nearest Greg's. Or head online to personalise for your favourite people at gregs.co.uk.
Can I make my own cocktail? Probably.
So you get the idea. They sound brilliant. I've been testing it for a while, and it does sound really, really well. Picks up a hell of a lot of stations. Really good. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Not really a restoration on this radio. It's more of a clean up and a service. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly really do enjoy working on these hacker sets. They are a pleasure to work on. If you get your hands on one or you've got one, then do cherish them. They are great radios. So thank you very much for watching. As always, be good to each other, and I hope to catch you next time.